Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going over two cyclones which are going to be combining in the Gulf of Mexico and impacting parts of Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas. All throughout the western Gulf Coast is really going to be feeling the impacts of a combination of two systems. We have Tropical Storm Laura and Tropical Storm Marco. Tropical Storm Marco and Tropical Storm Laura are both expected to become hurricanes sometime in their lifespans, and they are expected to kind of merge together somewhere south of Louisiana and Mississippi, and then move further north and west. So we're going to be going over my personal cone of uncertainty forecast and track forecast, as well as my intensity guidance forecast for the storm, and then we're also going to go over some model guidance for the storm. Now, also something I have to mention, I am going to be taking a little bit of a break from YouTube. You guys will still have content. I'll be uploading a couple of longer range forecasts on my channel over the next couple of days. I'll be back most likely by the 26th. So that's when I'm going to start going back to uploading on current weather. But you guys will have some longer range forecasts that I hope you guys will enjoy. But I just need to notify you guys about that, just because I won't be able to cover these two tropical storms. And I know you guys are very interested in these two tropical storms. Now, here is the current National Weather Service page. We have hurricane warnings and actual tropical storm warnings in effect for parts of the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean. We also have just a bunch of dense fog advisories, as well as air quality alerts, all scattered throughout the western United States. Excessive heat watches in effect for parts of southern Arizona there, and then also some red flag warnings scattered throughout the western United States. Other than that, not a lot going on. Now, here is the 5-day graphical outlook for the National Hurricane Center in the Atlantic, and we do have one disturbance off the coast of Africa. Currently has a 10% chance of developing. Other than that, we have Marco and Laura both in the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean. The last time that we had two systems in the Gulf of Mexico that were going to make landfall on the same day, and that still looks to be true, was back in 1933, September 4th, I believe. So it's been quite a while, over about 90 years or so, or almost 90 years, since we've had something like this happen. And if they do landfall on the same day, then we'll definitely have that'll be something very interesting to see. Now, here is the current infrared satellite loop of Laura, and currently it is at 17.8 degrees north by about 66.8 degrees west, maximum sustained winds of about 40 miles per hour, so it's comfortably in that tropical storm range, and it's moving west at about 18 miles per hour. Now, here is the key messages for the storm. You can pause the video here and read them if you are interested. Here is the cone of uncertainty from the National Hurricane Center for the storm, and it is expected to stay as a tropical storm all the way until Monday night, and then by Tuesday morning, it's expected to turn into a hurricane and stays a hurricane until it makes landfall, most likely with Louisiana, Texas, or Mississippi, sometime right around, I would say, probably Wednesday night into early on Thursday morning, and then should weaken to a tropical storm after moving on land. Now, here is the chances of seeing tropical storm force wind probabilities, and the National Hurricane Center, their graphics have actually merged together because of how close these systems are. So I couldn't find any graphic where it was just tropical storm Laura or just tropical storm Marco. So I'm just going to show both of them on the screen at the same time, and you can kind of see this is kind of the track of tropical storm Marco, and you can see how that converges with the track of tropical, or this is tropical storm Laura, and you can see how that merges with the track of tropical storm Marco, and both of them are headed towards Louisiana, where you have the greatest probability of seeing tropical storm winds. Also for Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, Haiti, also under quite a decent chance of seeing tropical storm force winds, and that's where the system is currently impacting the Caribbean. Now, here is your chances of seeing 58-mile-per-hour wind speeds, and you see we do see about a 30 to 40% chance on land for parts of southern Louisiana of that occurring. Here is the current chances of seeing hurricane force wind speeds, and we do have about a 10 to 20% chance of that occurring on land for parts of, again, southernmost Louisiana. Now, here's the model track guidance for tropical storm Laura, and most of these headed straight west northwesterly until it hits just south of Louisiana, where it starts to curve north and then eventually starts moving eastward as it's on land over the Tennessee Valley. Now, here is the model intensity guidance for the storm. Currently, it is a very weak tropical storm and is going to strengthen to maybe and most likely a hurricane, a medium Category 1 hurricane. This storm has more of an upside to this storm where it could potentially become a major hurricane, although it does look unlikely. And that has a greater possibility of becoming a major hurricane than Tropical Storm Marco does, although Tropical Storm Marco has a better chance of becoming a hurricane. So it's a bit weird where, depending on the exact track, you could either see a weak tropical storm out of this, or you could maybe even see a Category 3 hurricane, although that does look unlikely again, but it's still not out of the question, especially with those warm waters we have in the Gulf. Now, here is Tropical Storm Marco, and what we are expecting with the storm. Here is the infrared satellite, currently located at 20.9 degrees north by about 85.3 degrees west, with sustained winds of about 65 miles per hour, moving north-northwest at about 12 miles per hour, according to the latest update from the National Hurricane Center. And this is the key message for Tropical Storm Marco. And again, you can pause the video here and read them if you are interested. Now, here is the cone of uncertainty forecast for Tropical Storm Marco. As of sometime between this morning and tomorrow morning, we are expecting this to become a hurricane and then move and stay as a hurricane all the way until Monday morning, and then sometime in the middle of the day on Monday, it should weaken to a tropical storm and stays a tropical storm as it heads westward into Louisiana and Texas. And you can kind of tell how similar these two tracks are. Now, here's the or the model track guidance for the storm. It is expected to move again north and then start moving westward as it starts to become just parallel of Louisiana, and then it's gonna again move southward now, or westward, I mean. Now, here's the model intensity guidance for the storm, and right now, again, a high-end tropical storm, and we're only about 10 miles per hour away from being a Category 1 hurricane. So we are getting close to seeing our next hurricane in the Atlantic. Again, it is expected to become some sort of Category 1 hurricane. Some models actually do bring this to a Category 2 hurricane. It looks unlikely, but again, still a possibility. And I really think the storm, Tropical Storm Marco, is more organized than Tropical Storm Laura is. That's mainly due to Tropical Storm Laura actually taking more of a southerly track and moving over Hispaniola, or at least tracking over Hispaniola and forecasted track over there. And that'll really weaken the system, especially with those higher mountains over Hispaniola and Cuba. So that's really going to weaken this system. And then sometime within the next 72 to 96 hours, it's really going to start to make landfall and impact land. And that's when it should weaken down into a tropical storm. Now, here's my personal forecast, and I'm going to go over my cone of uncertainty forecast as well as my intensity forecast. Now, here's my cone of uncertainty forecast, and this is going from today all the way until the 26th, which is the next 5 days. So this is going over the next 5 days and where the storm could track. In that darker pink, that is where I am. That's where Tropical Storm Laura looks to track, and then in that lighter pink there, that's where Tropical Storm Marco is gonna track until it starts to intersect with Tropical Storm Laura, or at least when they start to move very, very close to each other. Now, they are gonna move westward. Both of these storms are gonna move west northwestward until it hits just parallel south of Louisiana, and then should start turning westward. Now, here is the model intensity guidance, and I believe this one is actually for Laura. Now, here it is supposed to or is expected to stay as a tropical storm all the way until the next 96 hours or the next 4 days, and then it should strengthen into a Category 1 hurricane briefly, and then go back down into a high-end to low-end to middle-end tropical storm, and that would be past the 5-day time frame. Now, here is for Tropical Storm Marco, and Tropical Storm Marco is expected to become a Category 1 hurricane within the next 24 to 48 hours, and and it should even maybe approach Category 2 status, although I don't think it'll reach Category 2 reach Category 2 with the storm, although I do think it is possible. It does not look very likely at this point. Then it should kind of gradually go down into a middle end tropical storm and then weaken down into a tropical depression over the next 5 days or so. Now, that is going to wrap it up for today's video. Please consider liking the video, subscribing, and turning on notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.